Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 19 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. I'm going to be switching new teams, or switching to a new team pretty soon. I think the next episode will probably feature something new. I've honestly used this team longer on Road to Ranked than I wanted to, mainly because I think it's honestly not a very good team, and it is definitely pretty challenging to use, mainly because I feel like it's got some key things that make it slightly weaker, but either way, it has still been a lot of fun to play with, and I will be posting a showdown export and a paste bin, as well as a QR code and a team report coming up soon. So keep your eyes out open for that. These last 2 weeks were really hectic because I just started school and moved in, and I'm starting a brand new school and degree, so it's been a little bit crazy, but finally settled down a little bit, and I'm actually going to Philly Regionals today, so if you're there this weekend, definitely come up and say hello. It's my first time competing in a very long time, so I'm looking forward to just playing in a tournament again. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share your support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And our first opponent of the day is going to be running a Kyogre and Nala team, which is definitely not a restricted duo I'd say we see too often. With these, it's very common that I can see something like Ludicolo and Lunala come out as a lead. So I want to go Lele to potentially one-shot the Ludi. I'm going to go Cress, Groudon, and I still like Kyogre potentially to sweep through if I can beat my opponent's Ludicolo. So, pretty tricky matchup. Ferrothorn's always kind of scary. There are definitely a bunch of edits I'd make to this team, and I'll talk about that in the team report as I post it. And I'll try to switch teams up quicker, because I know you guys want to see different kind of strategies, and I don't want to be using the same team too early on in the season. So, yeah. But thank you guys as always for watching, and as always if you do enjoy, please share your support by leaving a like. It's going to be Lunala and Coco. Okay. There are a bunch of things to worry about here. Like, if I can set up Trick Room, Groudon can really just obliterate my opponent's team, but that's easier said than done. And presumably the Coco's going to want to, taunt my Cresselia. If it has it. Or maybe my opponent just goes for a Moongeist Beam. But because my opponent led this, I think I'm just going to go for the Moonblast onto Lunala, break the shield. And I'll still attempt to Trick Room, but because my opponent didn't lead Ludicolo, Kyogre can actually put in some work. It's actually just going to be a Volt Switch coming out into the Lele. Interesting. So this might be Ferrothorn coming in for my opponent right now. So let's see if it is. Nope, it's Incineroar. Okay. I'm okay with that. Right now my opponent just doesn't have very much for the Groudon, and I didn't launch a Psychic type attack into that slot. I don't even think Specs Lunala knocks out Cress here with Moongeist Beam. Maybe it's a double up onto Lele, which I wouldn't mind. Let's see. But target's down Cress. Yeah, but I do survive. Which is good. Eat my berry, get this Moonblast off. And then now I can Gravity this next turn. And I get a special attack drop, which is actually kind of nice. That could mean that I survive another Moongeist Beam, which actually could be pretty huge. Pretty sure that's Specs Lunala as well. I could just hard switch Lele here into Groudon. Just don't want to lose my Life Orb to something like a knockoff. So I think I will just Moonblast Lunala here and Gravity. Yeah. He's actually going to fake out the Crest. That's fine. Ideally, Lunala locks something out here, so then I just get to switch it into Groudon. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So Moongeist Beam is going to come out. I guess this actually could target down the Crest instead of the Lele. So let's see who it targets. I'm going to go into Lele, which is ideal for me. So I sack the Lele, get the free switching into Groudon, and now I can Gravity Precipice Blades pretty freely. Going for something like a Swords Dance could be interesting, but I don't think it's worth it. The other question I gotta ask is how fast is the Incineroar, because Incineroar with no speed investment actually underspeeds Groudon. Either way, though, there's no reason not to Gravity and Precipice Blades this turn. And with Kyogre in the back, basically I'm looking to chunk everything down, and then Kyogre comes in and just sweeps with Water Spout. But yeah, I think Lunala is kind of an annoying Pokemon to deal with this team. It's actually going to switch out, which is fine. Whatever's coming in is going to be taking a Precipice Blades. And it's Ludicolo, which is totally okay. Incineroar is faster. It is actually going to get the U-turn off, but I'm okay with that. As long as it doesn't knock off the Groudon's item, that's fine. And more importantly, because of Psychic Terrain, you can't fake out Groudon, so it basically gets like a couple of turns fully under Trick Room, which is nice. And it is going to be Coco. Yep. So, like, Life Orb Precipice Blades against Ludi still does, like, 70%, which is just kind of crazy. Although, my opponent does now reset the terrain, so you can fake out Groudon, which makes things a little bit trickier. But that's okay. If I knock out the Ludicolo, then my Kyogre just wins the game with Water Spout in the late game. That Ludicolo actually looks a little bit bulkier. It took that better than I anticipated it to. But that's okay. I think Incineroar has to come out right now. So you get the Intimidate, yeah. So this is interesting. With Life Orb, I can still knock out. I'm thinking of switching Cress out into Kyogre and Precipice Blading here. There's still 2 turns of Trick Room left. Yeah. It could be a double up in a Groudon, though, with a Fake Out and a Grass Knot. But I can just protect here, yeah. I think the best play is to protect Groudon and switch into Kyogre. Yeah. Because the Ludicolo will be faster than my Kyogre, and then under Trick Room, that means on the last turn I'll be able to underspeed it. This is a pretty intense game. Alright, let's see. I just don't want to get doubled up into Groudon right now. There's the Fake Out into Groudon, yep. And Grass Knot into Groudon, perfect. Alright. So that's what I wanted this turn. Now I definitely want to Precipice Blades. It's the last turn of Trick Room. I'm just worried that Ludicolo took the Precipice Blades better than I thought it would. Just worried it's like the buried variant. Buried would be bad. If it's buried, then Precipice Blades probably activates the berry and Thunder doesn't knock out any. Oh, Electric Terrain is up though, so Thunder would knock out. I'm gonna Precipice Blades and Thunder here. Incineroar can knock off. Ludi's actually gonna switch out, which I think is a good switch, but I'm fine with that. Because he's gonna U-turn out, so that should just be a double knockout, I think. Unless Lunala survives the Precipice Blades, which I guess it actually might. Life Orb, but -1. We'll see. Nice play, definitely. But if this hits, or I mean, obviously it's going to hit because of gravity. It's a question of, is it going to knock out Lunala? Okay, nice. Does Ludicolo have a berry? No. Okay, cool. Sweet. So we will get a win here. Pretty scary game for sure, but my opponent basically letting me getting Groudon for free was really, really big. And then like not going for knockoff at some point with the Incineroar. Also meant that I got to keep my items, which was really important on this Groudon. And yeah, the lead worked out decently where Coco didn't really put on too much pressure, and more importantly, like I was able to get Trick Room up immediately, which was pretty good against my opponent's team. With Incineroar out, yeah, there's pretty much nothing my opponent can do. I'm just going to guarantee the win by switching Kyogre out and back in, because then I can just Water Spout. Yeah, so we will get a win there. Nice. Pretty straightforward game. Not too straightforward, I think. Anytime you stare down Lunala, it could be scary. My opponent could have doubled up into the Crest turn 1 too. Because I am really, really I am like max HP special defense, so I knew I would survive a Moongeist Beam from Specs Lunala. Figured even a double up maybe doesn't knock me out. It would have been close though. Would have been really close. I think it probably does get the knockout actually. Although I guess the Electric Terrain wasn't up, so Volt Switch would have done like no damage to Crest. So my opponent would have needed to like Thunderbolt. And I think my opponent was obviously hoping I would just go for a Psychic type attack into the Coco, but obviously I didn't, so that definitely helped out. But we're gonna find Gabe from California for our next opponent today. Running Yveltal, which I think is probably the worst matchup for this team in terms of restricted Pokemon, so that's going to be tricky. Actually, a ton of things I don't want to see here. Yveltal, Groudon, Pharaoh, those are all really bad to go up against. So, how do I want to approach this? Something like Ludi Crest could work, where I could just fake out Trick Room potentially turn 1. Ludi Crest, Kyogre, Groudon. That's what I'm thinking. Although, not bringing Lele against the Yveltal does seem kind of weird. Alternative, I could go Lele, Kyogre. Actually, yeah, I think Ludi's pretty bad here. I'm gonna go Lele, Ogre, Crest, Groudon. The idea with Lele Ogre is that you can't Sucker Punch me, so I'm protected from that, and I just launch Water Spouts off. You also can't Fake Out with the Incineroar. And if the Yveltal is slower than my Lele, then I'm actually in a really good spot. Obviously, the downside is my opponent leading Ferrothorn, so that's the one thing I gotta really be careful about. But, yeah, I think this team definitely needs better answers against Steels in general, but especially Ferrothorn. Like, Incineroar would be a pretty good Pokemon to add, honestly. It's going to be Lele Zapdos, which is really interesting. I feel like I have the advantage here. And we'll be able to see the speeds here as well, which is pretty important. So, not Scarf Lele, or Zapdos. Scarf Zapdos would definitely be interesting. And my Lele is faster as well. Okay. Which is really interesting because turn 1 I really could just Water Spout and Psyshock the Zapdos. Yeah, I don't see anything stopping me from doing that. Lele could be sashed, which is scary. Zapdos this switch out, but whatever's coming in is taking a lot of damage. Groudon's a good switch in though, but that Groudon is going to faint here this turn. Yeah. That was a smart play though, but I think I needed to deny Zapdos from potentially setting up a Tailwind. So I'll get the knockout here onto Groudon, but Lele is going to get a Psychic type attack in return, presumably targeting down Kyogre. Yep, Psyshock coming out, and into Kyogre. Okay, doesn't knock me out though. So this next turn, I'm most likely going to switch Kyogre out into Crest. I'm just worried about max speed Yveltal with knockoff into the Lele. But Yveltal doesn't even come out, which is just kind of weird. Okay. So with Zapdos out, I think I'm definitely switching Kyogre here into Crest. I'm just gonna Psyshock Zapdos, I think. Because if Kyogre comes out, it just clicks Origin Pulse, and that knocks out everything. I don't want my opponent to have their last Pokemon in, because all of, like, Incineroar, Yveltal, Ferrothorn, those are all pretty scary. So I don't want to knock out Lele here right now. I'm okay dealing with Zapdos and Lele because neither of those really do too much damage. Groudon can take attacks from it. Really want to. So, not in a bad spot here. Turn 1 worked out quite nicely. Yeah, I just am surprised. I'm wondering what my opponent's lead was trying to counter exactly. So Crest is going to come out. We know Lele's faster than Zapdos. And if Zapdos like Tailwinds here, then I can just obviously Trick Room the next turn. And wow! I actually get a crit. That just knocks out Zapdos outright. I don't know if I necessarily wanted that, especially if Yveltal is my opponent's last Pokemon, but we'll see. As Psyshock here is going to go into Lele. Because even though I'm up 4-2, it's actually still not over by any means. You would think... I mean, Yveltal's just so good against my team, yeah. I was like, why would you not bring that? And it is the Psychic Seed variant. Okay. I mean, I'd really like to Helping Hand Moonblast here. I'm gonna go for that. Let's see. Alternatively, I could have Trick Room, but Yveltal does protect. Okay. Is Lele taunting, or is it just gonna Psyshock to knock out my Lele? Yeah, that ends up working out for my opponent. I could have Moonblast Trick Room, but then if Yveltal does outspeed Lele, and the knockoff knocks out Cresselia and Psyshock knocks me out, I just lose both Pokemon and get nothing out of that turn. So at least here I still have Crest. I'm gonna bring out Kyogre now. And I think I want to just Helping Hand Origin Pulse here. Yeah. I could Origin Pulse and Trick Room. I think I actually like Origin Pulse Trick Room here more. Because I think Origin Pulse knocks out the Lele anyway. Yeah, that's the one risk of using Origin Pulse. Oh, but I survived knockoff. Okay. And he knocks out Kyogre. Yeah, I guess because it's Seed Yveltal, it doesn't have something boosting knockoff. So that was good. Yeah, what I figured there was like, okay, if Lele protects, Origin Pulse still does a lot to Yveltal. And then if you knock out my Crest, I guess then I'd be locked into Origin Pulse, so maybe that wasn't the best play. But now I think I should win because I just pressed Gravity, Precipice Blades. So that was kind of a scary game, but yeah, I forgot like Crest should survive the knockoff there because it wasn't like Black Glasses or Bandit or Life Orb Yveltal. So we should be good here. Whoops. I want to click Gravity, not Helping Hand. Otherwise, I really am surprised my opponent didn't prioritize the Yveltal more. Like, it feels like it was something like Lele Yveltal I thought would have been a really good lead against me. Although I suppose my Lele and Kyogre would have specifically countered that, so maybe... But yeah, it's just like Lele Zapdos loses really hard to Kyogre. Lele's going to protect it, that's fine. Just a double protect, which is even better because now I can just Helping Hand Precipice Blades this next turn. Yeah, I think Yveltal's a really scary Pokemon, but its damage output is, like, you're either going to be really frail and just faint, or you are going to be bulkier and you won't be able to necessarily get, like, one-shots on things. So, yeah, having a good lead really helped me out in this game. Like, I feel like I was already in a good spot, and then when Zapdos came out instead of the Lele, then I figured I was more or less set. Or when Zapdos came out instead of the Yveltal. Helping Hand, and he's gonna Sucker Punch, but even a crit Sucker Punch won't knock out Groudon. Yeah. And Precipice Blades here will finish up the deal. Nice. Yeah, I mean, anytime I stare down at Yveltal with Cresselia, I'm always really scared, obviously, because knockoff just hits so hard, and the knockoff, like, hits my entire team for pretty good damage, and losing my items is also really bad with this team. So, it's always, like, a bunch of things to be worried about, but we fortunately do end up with a win here. Definitely some scary stuff. I'm trying to think, like, what's the downside of not leading Yveltal against my team? I suppose because my opponent was Psychic Seed, it was less offensive, and so I feel like what my opponent was setting himself up for was potentially Tailwinding and Sweeping, but it didn't seem like there was really any great counter to Trick Room, especially with the Zapdos Lele lead, although you could taunt with Lele and Roar with Zapdos. Both of those are potential options, so definitely could have been the case. Either way, I think this next game will be our final one with this specific team. I might use a variant of it with some small edits that I wanted to make. We're going to find an 1845 opponent from Japan, which is the highest rating I've seen on BattleSpot. Yeah, that's a really cool team. There's a Shiftry and a Ho-Oh. This team actually could be potentially pretty good for me to go up against because the two restrictors are both really weak to Kyogre and Groudon. So if I play this right, maybe we can eke out a win. But definitely... You know, 1845, that must be like top 5 or top 10 rating in the world at this point, honestly. So that's pretty cool to see. So how do I want to approach this? The strategy is definitely to set up Trick Room, but that's easier said than done. I don't want to go Ludicrest, Kyogre, Groudon. With Ludicrest, I potentially threaten Fake Out, and I also, if I don't want to necessarily set up Trick Room, I can actually just switch out into Kyogre immediately, especially if my opponent leads Groudon to potentially counter my weather. Shiftry is really cool, and Ho-Oh's a restrictor that we haven't seen too much of yet. I played with a little bit in 2016, and like it had some results, but it really wasn't like that great in 2016. It's gonna be Groudon Shiftry, okay. There are two ways I could go about this. I could either go for the Trick Room route, which I'm more tempted to. Yeah, like I kind of want to just fake out Shiftry Trick Room turn 1. Oh, but Shifter can fake me out. So the question is, does Shiftry fake out Crest? Like, does he expect to just trade fake outs? Because I kind of want to just Helping Hand Grass Knot the Groudon. I'm going to go for that. I guess Groudon here could protect. Hey, he's going to switch out. He's going to play it smart. Okay. Good switch. Let's see. Surely you must fake out the Crest here, though. Oh, you just knockoffs. Ah, that's so annoying. I could have just Trick Room there. Oh, man. I should have just gone for it. Because I figured if I knocked out the Groudon, like, that would just be, not game, necessarily, but put me in a really good spot. Interestingly enough, though, it's still not necessarily over by any means. It's just this next turn is going to be trickier. I think I'm going to switch into Kyogre here. And I'm actually still going to try to set up Trick Room because Groudon sweeps through my opponent's entire team under Trick Room. That was annoying turn 1, though. I feel like if I just Trick Room there, I would have been in such a good spot. Shift trees normally have Focus Sash. Just gonna Leaf Blade the Crest, okay. Probably doubling up into it, but if not, that could be huge for me. Let's see. Oh, he doesn't double up into it, okay. That makes this match a lot more interesting now. I'm definitely gravitating here with Cresselia. I think I want to conserve Kyogre here. It's just, who do you target? Shifter should probably target down Kyogre. So I'm going to switch out into Ludi here and Gravity. Yeah, I'm just mad I didn't, like, that turn 1 play didn't work out nearly as well as I would have liked to. Shifty switches out, okay. To Groudon? Tyranitar. Yeah, so you can see right now, Precipice Blade just destroys my opponent's entire team. But I could be eating a Brave Bird here with my Ludi, which wouldn't be nice. But, oh, protects. Okay. So I get the Gravity up, which is good. But that's one turn of Trick Room. Like, you imagine if I switched in Groudon there, that would have been really nice. But I didn't want to risk taking any damage from the Shift Tree. I don't want to switch into Kyogre and Skull the Ho here. But I want to get Groudon out. So the question is, do I switch Groudon out this turn? Just don't want to take, like, Sacred Fire. Yeah, I'm going to go for this play. It's just I'm running out of Trick Room turns. Maybe I should have switched in Groudon last turn, but... Because I could survive a Leaf Blade from Shift Tree anyway, but, like, if that crit me, that would be really bad. It's just that, like, I've set up my Groudon now, but I'm only going to have 2 turns of Trick Room to really take advantage of. Oh, Tyranitar Snarl. Alright, I gotta say I wasn't expecting that. I don't think I knock out the Ho now, even with the rain up. Let's see. Nah, it's so tanky. Probably has a berry, too. Yeah. Snarl Tyranitar. It's the one thing that... Literally the one thing that could have given me some problems. So the upside now is I finally get Groudon out. The downside is I only have, like, 1 turn to really take advantage of it. This Ho definitely protects this next turn. Although that... If I had to guess, that's Assault Vest Tyranitar. Pretty nicely done on my opponent's end. Some really cool plays. I'm definitely switching Kyogre out here into Groudon. Or sorry, into Crest. I wonder if it's worth going for a Swords Dance here. Probably not. Yeah. My opponent definitely played better than me. Nice not to just risk the Groudon turn 1. Yeah, in retrospect, like, it was kind of silly just going for that Grass Knot. I think here, presumably, Tyranitar just snarls and Ho protects. Let's see. Oh, he's just gonna Rock Slide. Okay, that's fine. Flinch would be really bad for me here. But I think my opponent wins at this point anyway. I don't have enough resources to really close this one out. Yeah, the Snarl really saved my opponent. Basically, I was expecting to get a guaranteed knockout that turn onto the Ho-Oh, and I was expecting Ludi to stick around. So Snarl Tyranitar came in clutch here for my opponent. Allowed the Ho-Oh to survive, burn another turn of Trick Room. And I thought surely I'd get the knockout there that turn, so I was not expecting Snarl T-Tar as Shiftry's going to come out. I think my opponent should have this 1-1 at this point. Unless for some reason Shiftry doesn't have Fake Out. I think either way, you surely have Fake Out or Protect, so you basically just sack the Ho-Oh and get the free switch in a Groudon, so then Shiftry outspeeds everything again. I was going to switch out though, which is interesting. Yeah, actually no, I think my opponent has this guaranteed one. Regardless of... Yeah, he does have Fake Out. Which is definitely frustrating because turn 1, like, yeah, I really could have just Trick Roomed and that would have been so big for me. Origin Pulse here isn't going to get the knockout. Presumably you target down the... Yeah, I don't think Precipice Blades knocks out anyway. Yeah, the Shiftry and Tyranitar and the whole... I mean, really cool team. And my opponent played it really, really well. The Snarl, once again, was definitely the thing that caught me off guard the most. Although, he actually Leaf Blades and I survive. So I wonder if I can knock out... it doesn't matter anyway, though, because I think the sun is up and single target Origin Pulse wouldn't even knock out the Ho-Oh. I could have Fire Punched here. Let's see if Precipice Blades can knock out with Life Orb. Oh, it does get the knockout. This game is... Although Gravity just returned to normal, so now I have to deal with the chance of missing as well. Yeah, Origin Pulse is not going to knock out Ho-Oh. The question is, does Origin Pulse and Fire Punch knock out? Like, I could still win this now, actually, but I have to hit Origin Pulse either once or twice, depending on who Ho-Oh targets here. Okay, I do hit it. Yo, he probably has Roost. Oh, he doesn't Roost! Now it's just, do I hit the other Origin Pulse? I think he probably targets down Groudon. Yeah, I could have protected Groudon there, but... Okay, I did not expect it to come down to this. Oh, please. If I just hit it, I win. But hitting 2 Origin Pulses out of Gravity is... Alright, can we do it? Wow. Wow. Okay, I did not expect to eke out this game with a win. I thought surely if you're my opponent, you should be targeting down the Kyogre with the Shiftry because that's what's threatening the Groudon. So my opponent Leaf Blading Groudon gave me the one window of opportunity to win because then I knocked out Groudon for free and then I knocked out Shiftry as well. I could have protected my Groudon there when the Ho-Oh targeted it, but it's like if Ho-Oh targets Kyogre, then I lose the game guaranteed. Whereas there, at least, even if Ho-Oh targets Kyogre and I Fire Punch, I win the game guaranteed. If Ho-Oh targets Groudon, then even if I still have the odds are in my favor because if I just hit the Origin Pulse, I win. But that was crazy. My opponent completely outplayed me, but kind of choked there in the end, and I was able to claw back into it. And like for me, it was a very clear just click Origin Pulse and Precipice Blades. I think could have Fire Punched there with Groudon, but my opponent made the one play for me that I was hoping for in order for me to even have a shot of getting back into it. But yeah, kind of a frustrating game because like turn 1 was just so bad for me, but I was at least able to get Trick Room up. Like the fact my opponent didn't double up into Crest and didn't deny the Trick Room was big. Gravity did go up, and then Groudon still put in work. But yeah, Groudon and Kyogre really coming in the clutch there. So kind of a crazy way to end it with this team, but it's been really fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So thank you guys as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please show support by leaving a like. I'll be posting a team analysis of this sometime in the upcoming week, and we'll be switching to a brand new team in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully see some of you guys at Philadelphia Regionals if you're going this weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.